Hey everybody, it's Annie, and today we're going to go on our chicken coop tour. So I'm really excited because my girls are growing and I need to figure out some different options for our coop as far as their bedding and their roost poles and different options as far as food and water. Because as you notice, where I live, it's cold and there's snow on the ground already. But part of that, we just want to show you that you can really raise chickens anywhere at any time. And so I've called up a couple of my friends today and we're gonna go tour their coops and ask them some questions. So come on, let's go figure it out. So our first stop is here at our friend's house, and this is their daughter Clara. And Clara at their house is kind of their chicken lady. And so we're gonna ask her about their coop and why they chose what they did. And so hopefully she can answer some of my questions today.
Okay, so let's go to the coop. So we have Americanas and Silkies for our chickens. And we have 16 and maybe 2 roosters.
Okay. So I noticed this is this your coop right here?
Yep, and it's a shed, and we have part of it as storage, and then we sectioned off probably from the door a little less, and then to the rest of it, and that's the chicken part. And we actually built it our own, which I know that some people, they need to buy theirs because, well, my dad built it. So.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see some of the things he incorporated, so can we check it out?
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so this is the inside of our coop, and we have windows in there that we cut out from our shed, and it helps during the summer because it gets really hot. And then you can close them for if it's raining or if it's really windy. But one thing about wind is they have to be so a certain height above the chickens, okay, so that if there's a draft, it's not on them. Okay. So, and then also we have this air flow through our shed, okay, so that it can go in and out. And then we also have a heat vent, okay, up there. And speaking of heat, we also have for our
excuse me,
our water, we have a heater, and we have special nipples so that they can go under it instead of having something like above. Or okay, on the ground, especially because that can get really messy.
Okay.
And so we have a heater in here, and it's plugged in up there so that in the winter, it doesn't freeze.
Okay.
And then we also had nipples on the side, but they didn't work because those ones, they froze up a lot easier. So we bought the ones on the bottom online and drilled some holes into a bucket.
Okay.
And then we have the food, and this one also is hanging because if it's on the ground, it's just gonna get messy, and all of the I can't think of the word.
Pine shavings?
Pine shavings. And all the pine shavings are gonna get into the food, which then you won't even see the food probably.
Sure.
And then we have oyster shell and grit, and they're also hanging, which is good for them. And then here is our nest boxes, and we have some curtains there because it gives them some privacy when they're laying their eggs, because when we didn't have them, there would actually sometimes be 3 chickens and they're trying to lay an egg. And then on the outside,
okay,
here, my dad built it actually, and so the chickens, you can even see them in here. Well, there's
3 separate boxes.
3 different ones, and then it's actually at a angle, so all the eggs when they lay them, they'll all roll down, And then we also have it insulated on right here and then on the bottom.
Okay.
You can't see it, but
Okay,
it's covered
but
up.
under here,
Yeah.
okay.
So that it helps with, in the winter, they can freeze really easily. So it helps keep them a little warm.
Okay, and then what about, it looks like these pieces are cut.
Yeah. It's on both sides.
Okay.
Lots of times you can get poop on their feet and everything. So we just take a scraper and we scrape it out. There's actually two right there.
Okay.
And then we scrape it out here, and that comes out, and we scoop it right in there. And also, it's with the rolling nest box, it's also a little bit easier because when some people put pine shavings in here, but that can get a little messy with your eggs.
Sure.
Because especially cleaning it, they can stick to it because it's a little wet sometimes, or even, yeah.
Okay. So it's just a cleaner, easier way to
Yeah.
collect the eggs, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So what about lighting as far as, I see you have a heat lamp here.
Yeah.
And then, do chickens need a certain amount of daylight or?
Yeah, they do. Especially if they're like laying hens. We have a light, and it's programmed or set up so that it can turn on in a certain time in the morning, so that they have about like 14 hours so that they can lay their eggs.
Okay.
It turns on in the morning, and also turns off in the morning so that it's not on all day, and then turns back on at night and off at around 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So, and then we have our roost bars.
Okay.
And we made ours so that you can take them out and clean them if you need to, but you can also scrape them off if you need to.
Sure.
And they're also below the window so that their heads aren't going to be right above if it's really windy.
Okay. Whoop. Here comes somebody. Come on in here. I see you have a door here.
Yeah.
So for them to go in and out.
Yeah. Well, it's especially for predators. At night we have to close them in so that nothing can come in and eat them. But also when we built this, we put some wiring underneath and then another board on top of it, because that keeps them a little safer from animals getting in.
Okay. And then it's winter, so there's snow on the ground, and the chickens, they still can go outside and...
Yeah, it's kind of, they don't really love the snow, so they can go out. They like to eat it. They'll go out and eat it.
Okay.
And then they'll come back in and sit under the heat lamp.
Okay. Very nice. Hey, you guys, look what I'm holding. Hey, ladies.
Oh, they're all eating the stuff off the ground.
Say, listen, that kind of hurt. Hi.
So then, as you can see, we have run, but they can use it and hop off if they need to.
Okay.
And then we also have our door, and we just cut out for a pet door, and it's easy to slide this over and just pop it on and take it off.
Okay.
So that's pretty easy. And then we also have some bricks right here. And the reason we have those is because when they're little chicks and we bring them out here, they won't want to be come back to us so that we can get them in. So they'll run under the shed and they'll sleep out here for the night.
Okay.
And then they also have the gravel and rocks here, and the reason we have those is because they like to take dust baths. They also like to eat little rocks. So.
Okay. Can't imagine liking to eat rocks, but I know that's very important to chickens. So I noticed you don't have a roof over your run. Do your chickens ever get out?
Yeah, most of the time, especially in the summer, because they just like to go around, and sometimes, now they're not really going out because there's snow everywhere. Yeah. But they do like to, in the summer, they'll just hop right over, fly, or go over our fence, and because they want to get to our garden.
Oh, you stinkers.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But we might be putting something over them because,
Okay. Kind of keep them contained a little bit.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Clara. I learned a lot today, and I'm sure I'll be contacting you if I have any questions in the future. So thank you for your time.
Yep, it was fun.
All right, so we're on to our next stop, and this is my friend Mike here, and we are going to be looking at his coop now. So I'm pretty excited because we're kind of out in the country here, and to be real honest, I got lost on the way out here. But either way, Mike is going to tell us about his coop and how he got his stuff set up. So let's check it out.
All right. So here's the outside pen. A few things we did here. I built this and I put the netting on top.
Okay.
We originally were going to get guinea hens, and they're very natural birds, so they're good at flying. One decision we made was to put the flooring down, and there's about 3 inches between the dirt and the top of that. Okay. And we plant oats or wheat in there, and that grows up and actually helps to consume the manure, and then the chickens eat it off right below the wire. So pretty natural way to get them some feed and also help with the manure outside or the litter outside.
So do you just sprinkle it in there then when you plant it, or do you like lift up the stuff? And
no, we just like throw it,
throw it in there.
Throw handfuls of it in there.
Hi,
So,
girls. Do you have any roosters?
Nope. So just 19 chickens, 19 hens is what we have.
19 hens.
So
Hello.
got some Welsimers and some production reds and black Morans or French Morans, I think they're called, and then some white Plymouth Rock. So.
Okay.
So yeah, we can go inside and check
great.
that out. This is the chicken coop. We did add onto it this year. We left a little space here. This is where we keep the feed and the scratch grains and that sort of stuff, just so that's out of the way.
Okay.
Can move inside the coop, I guess. It'd probably work.
Wow.
Come on, chickies. You're so noisy.
Hello. Hello, chickens.
Yeah, you're okay.
Hello.
Yeah, you're okay. So, inside the coop here, we have a feeder. It's about a 30-pound feeder. We refill it once every week or maybe a little more than that.
Okay.
So that's a pretty good system. It is a hanging feeder, but we set it on blocks just to keep it from swinging around.
Okay.
So behind you there, we have I think it's a 3-gallon heated drinker. So that's a really nice way. We refill that about every 3 days. So through the winter, it works really well, just to keep them watered.
Okay.
For lighting, I have a timer with a heat lamp. Not so much for heat, it just really helps keep their laying schedule on.
Okay.
So they need 16 hours of light per day.
Okay.
So I just have it set to be on from, I think it goes till 10 at night and starts again at 6 in the morning. So
Okay.
they get their 16 hours of light a day. Our brooder boxes are here. So we have 5 of them, which seems sufficient.
Can I look in there?
Yeah, certainly. There's a few.
I won't crawl in there, I promise. Oh, they're in there.
Yep.
Hello.
So with these brooder boxes, I wanted them to be easy to clean out. So we actually just use dishwasher trays or whatever. So you can pull them out and dump out if there's poop or broken yolk or something like that.
Okay.
You can just dump it out. You can see there's a few eggs in there now.
Yeah.
So those seem to work pretty well.
This gal here is saying, listen, people, shut the door.
Yep, she keeps the eggs warm. She's broody. So.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
Okay. That's your job, huh, lady?
So she's hanging out for now.
Okay.
Roosting bars, they're I think 8 feet long. So there's plenty of room for all of them to fit up there. Back here we have there's a dust bath. It's a mix of diatomaceous earth, sand, a little bit of dirt is primarily what we use. We have a pecking block that helps keep them from fighting each other a little bit. Okay. And then another thing we made was these tubes, so we have the calcium and then the grit as well. Okay. So they're able to just free choice that, and I can fit, I don't know, probably 2 months worth of stuff in each tube.
Wow.
So.
How about predators? Do you have any trouble with like rats or coyotes or?
No, we haven't had. I think we lost one to a fox, but we never found her.
Okay.
That was last summer. As far as the predators go, we do have the sealed outside run area.
Sure.
And then in here, there's the chicken wire up top, so they still get ventilation, but it keeps anything that would come in out.
Sure.
So with that, we haven't had any problems with anything. We try and keep the feed cleaned up, only in the feeder.
Sure.
Scratch grains, we don't put a ton out, just enough for them.
Okay.
And that helps keep the predators from having a food source.
Okay. Yeah, because I do not like that kind of stuff at all.
Yeah, no, it's great. And we actually have a few cats. They help keep the mice at bay. So
Sure.
That's a pretty helpful thing as well.
We have a cat named Miracle, because it's a miracle we have a cat. But I might have to consider getting a couple more, because I really don't like mice.
Yep, so that's really helped us, having we have 3 cats now.
Okay.
But I guess for litter, through the winter we do the deep litter method. So we'll start with a couple inches. This is all fresh last night, but we'll let it build up to be 10 or 12 inches deep. That actually helps it compost while it's in here. And it helps keep, there's good bacteria that keep the bad ones at bay. It keeps them off the concrete and warmer as well.
Okay.
So.
And then at the end of winter, you just scoop it all out and.
Yep. So it's a lot of work once, but it keeps you from having to clean it out every 4 or 5 days when it gets gross. So just kind of keep adding on top of it, and you throw the scratch grains down, and we do them in a different place every day, and they actually help to turn the litter and mix it up. So.
Wow, that's a great idea.
It's a pretty slick system as well.
Okay. Yeah, they like that. They're having fun there, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really good at scratching for the scratch grains.
Wow.
So.
Well, what do you have to say, lady? Are you the boss? Do you notice if they have like that hierarchy? Is one of them more dominant or?
Yeah, there's this one here, the white one.
Yeah.
We call her Miss Congeniality. She's the boss.
Okay.
You can tell who she is because she's missing her neck feathers. She also has a weird toe.
Okay.
But she's the loudest one we have, and she's definitely in charge around here.
She rules the roost.
Yeah, if she goes in the top bar, everyone else gets down. So
Really?
she pushes her way around.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is at home with me.
Yeah.
I'm the queen.
Yeah. We don't have to worry about it now, but in the summer for ventilation, we just put a box fan in the window and blow air in, and that helps keep everything fresh.
Okay.
So.
And then do you ever let your chickens outside of there run?
Yeah, they're out every day that there's not snow down, basically.
Okay.
So they were out last week,
Okay.
running free.
So when there's snow on the ground, then you just shut it off and let them be in here? Or they can go out here?
They can always go out there.
Oh, okay. And then they can run around your yard.
Yep, when there's not. They don't like snow, so when it snowed the 3 inches last week, they only came like 4 feet down or 4 inches down the ramp. They wouldn't touch snow. They're very adverse to that, but
That's how I am too,
they're
girls.
it's cool how cold weather resistant they are.
Yeah.
So as long as you don't keep them in a heated environment, they can survive temperatures. I mean, last winter they survived down to -10. So
Really?
they're very resilient as long as you kind of transition them to be that way. Okay. If it's a heated environment and the heat were to be shut off, they wouldn't survive that shock.
So you have a heat lamp here. And what did you say about that again? Like you have it, but
yeah, so it's not so much for the heat.
Right.
It's more just for a light source.
Okay.
To help keep their laying cycles on.
Sure.
So-
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't provide much heat. It's pretty far from their roosting
Sure.
bars.
Okay. So you don't really heat anything in the winter then?
No, just the water. But otherwise, they're just kind of at the mercy of the outdoors.
Okay.
So it does stay a little bit warmer in here. It helps, like on this wall, we double insulate, we didn't insulate it. We just have 2 layers of plywood, so it helps to buffer the outside air.
Sure.
Keep the wind from blowing through is the biggest thing.
Okay.
So keep the wind out, keep them dry, and they're resilient.
Okay.
So.
Wow.
And actually, so this is our brooder area when we start chicks. So we can just put a board up here with a little piece of wire that they can see through, but they can't get through. So that way the chicks are kind of separate from the big chickens. We put a heat lamp, we can hang it from here, and then the chicks have their own space to start, and then they can transition in the big coop.
Okay. So the cold weather thing, because my chickens are younger, they're like 7 weeks.
Okay.
So what about that as far as the heat and transitioning my chickens? Because right now they're in a heated,
Yep.
area.
I would keep a heat lamp on them. I mean, that way they have a choice to be under there or not.
Right.
That would be the
transition.
biggest thing, would be just make sure they have a heat lamp.
And then when they get older, that's kind of when you do the cold. You don't necessarily.
Yeah, I think with those I would always keep a heat lamp on them just so they have the choice and they don't get too cold.
Sure.
But I wouldn't try and heat the whole space.
Sure.
Or you always have to heat the whole space.
Right. Okay.
So,
Okay. Well, thanks, Mike. I actually learned a lot and I got some really good ideas. So if I have questions, I'll be calling you.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. Well, here we are at our last stop, and actually this is my sister's house. So she's not available right now, but she gave me permission to go in and check out her coop. So come on, let's go check it out. So, hi girls, hello. One of her chickens is named Cruella for really good reasons. But anyway, I'm gonna check out what she's got set up here. She's got her roosting bars. And also she has a heated water system as well. She said that she actually would really like to change it because it's not working real well for her. She's got her hanging feed. She's also doing the deep litter method for winter, and it finds that it's working very well. And then over here are her nesting boxes, which she says she doesn't prefer this either, but she's pretty new in her chicken raising world, so whoop, there's an egg. So she's learning as she goes as well. But so this is just kind of a nice area. She does have, she occasionally will put a heat lamp up if it gets really cold. And also she found this new heater. It's an infrared heater. So she has this heater as well that she's gonna put up. It doesn't actually heat the coop, but it just helps regulate the chicken's body temp. I mean, I guess it's kind of like my heat panel where they can move closer or farther away. So, because it does get really, really cold here in the winter, so she thought this might be a good option for her chickens. So, and then over here, she has a little cutout spot for the chickens to go in and out of. There is a door that goes up and down, and she comes out every morning to let them out. There is a little run out there, which she would like to change in the future as well, but for now it does the trick. And for the most part, her chickens just free range. They kind of run all over the yard. And do you got something to say? Huh? So that is about it here. And I know that she bought this shed, and she says she wishes she wouldn't have probably got such a big area because it's really not needed. But she would like to turn the other half into a brooder type situation, so then she can raise up and then integrate her chicken flock together. So for right now, the other half is basically storage, or the other 3/4 of it. So, well, that's it. That's our tour for the day. And I learned so much, and I'm really excited because my coop will be coming soon. And so come join us on our next video, because I'm gonna go research and kind of think about everything that we saw today and I learned today. And I'm gonna try and figure out how to put it all together in my coop and just make it the best place for our family. And that's one of the best things about raising chickens, is there's really not, we saw 3 different setups today, and all of them are just great. So don't be overwhelmed by the idea of, oh, you have to have just what this one person says. No, do your research, go visit places and figure out what will really work best for you. Shoot! Darn it! Okay.